what you call it, or being able to log into the homework or to the activity. So what I'm going to show you right now is for your for people who have the Mac. So I'll show you right now how to fix that error. Well, hopefully it'll fix that error. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay. So if you do have a Mac and if you're using Safari, what you want to do, you want to uncheck the prevent cross-site tracking. So you want to uncheck that. So in Safari, what you want to do, you want to go to the privacy. Yeah, let them in right now. So what you want to do, you want to go to the privacy tab. And once you go to the privacy tab, you should get this screen. And what you want to do, you just want to uncheck that. So you want to uncheck prevent cross-site tracking. And if you uncheck that, it should fix that issue. And then all you have to do is reload it. So if you are having issue with being able to see like the activity or being able to see the homework, try doing that and that should fix it hopefully. If not, I'm gonna have to try to find another solution. So if you are having troubles viewing the homework or viewing the activity, and also you're gonna have trouble viewing the quizzes, you do kind of want to use it to see if it will fix that issue. Any question in regard to that?
No.
All right. All right. So also yesterday you should have gotten an announcement saying that I posted up the lecture notes, and that I also posted the video for yesterday's lecture. So I'm not always gonna send an announcement, but I'm gonna show you where to go to find that. So if you're in Blackboard, well, you select the class. So it's in this class. So where you're gonna go to find it, you're gonna go to content. So if you go to content, let me press it again. So if you go to content, you're gonna see 3 folders for week 1. So one of them said week 1 notes. So that's where you're gonna find all of the lecture notes. Then it says week 1 notes solution. So that's where you're gonna find the lecture notes with the solution. So if you actually click on it, you click on day 1. All right. So then you'll find pretty much my lecture notes, and you'll find it with all of the answers that we did that day. So that's where you're gonna find the lecture note with the solution. Any question on where to find the lecture notes with the solution? All right.
No, thank you.
So also, if you go to content again, now if you go where it says week 1 lecture video, that's where you're gonna find the lecture video. So you click on that, you click on June 30th lecture, which was yesterday. And that's where you'll find the lecture video for yesterday meeting. So if you ever want to see what grade do you have, so, all right. And that's it. Any question on where to find the lecture video? All right. So I did add one more thing to your Blackboard. So on Blackboard, if you look, you have the Zoom lecture, and right below that you have the pretty much MAT 132 Summer 2020. And that's where you get pretty much all of the activity, all of the quizzes, all of the homework. And if you look at it, I added another button. So I added the office hour. So if you click on there, now you're gonna be able to see office hours. So just remember for my office hour are Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursday. So on say for tomorrow, I'm gonna have office hour from 11:30 all the way to 12 o'clock. So if you do have any question, all you have to do is just click where it says office hour, and that's for tomorrow. And then you press on the start or the join. I don't know what exactly it says for you, but you could just join me there, and that way if you have any question about like any quizzes, any homework, any pretty much anything, you could just join me in that Zoom session. So that's how you're gonna join me for your office, well, for my office hour. Any question in regard to office hour?
I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
How did you go to the other page to access the assignments?
Which assignment are you talking about, Krista?
Like at the beginning you were talking about something, but I came late, so like I kind of missed it.
I think when you were telling us how to unblock it, maybe.
Well, like if you're talking about like to get to like, are you talking about like the solution for the lecture notes?
No, when you were talking like, oh, to like if you have an iMac and you had to like take that check mark off.
Okay. Okay, where's my Safari? I deleted that. Well, yeah. So for that one, it's pretty much for people who have Mac. For some reason, it's not letting them go to like view homework or view the activity. So if you do have a Mac and you're using Safari, you have to uncheck where it says cross-tracking website. And I could send you the PDF file in case you want the instruction. But you have to email me. I'll send you those instructions. Any other questions?
Yes, I have a question. Activity 0, it says that it was due like on the 21st or something. Are we still supposed to do that or no?
No, for that one, it's usually like an icebreaker for the first day because usually it's like an icebreaker when everybody is in class, but it's kind of hard to do that for Zoom. So I decided to ditch that. So pretty much
Okay.
the only activity, we're starting from activity 1 and just going all the way to activity, I think it's 21 or something like that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right. So let's go ahead and we're gonna get started with today's lecture notes. So today's lecture note is day 2 lecture notes. So for day 2 lecture notes, should look something like that. So if you were able to print it out, you should have that. Or if you weren't able to print it out, if you have it on your tablet, because I saw some of you when you turn in the activity, you actually turn in the activity PDF file with your annotations. So I think some of you are uploading to your tablet. So if you haven't uploaded to your tablet, this is what we are working on right now. And today's class shouldn't take that long. You're actually gonna have more time to work on the activity because for today's lecture, it's pretty much only 4 slides long. So today should be a short lecture, and so that means you're gonna have more time on activity number 2. So if you need help on uploading activity number 2 onto Blackboard, you can always ask me to help you out. All right, so for day 2, we're gonna work on how to graph. So for this one, we're gonna do a frequency distribution. So a frequency distribution is a table that shows classes or the interval of data entry with a count of the number of entry in each class. Include class interval, lower class limit, and upper class limit. So first thing we're gonna go over is class. So this is our class. So the classes are just essentially our individual interval. So here go one interval, here go another interval, here go another interval, here go other interval, another, and the last one. Next thing that we have something called a frequency. So frequency, it tells us how frequent we have number in this interval. So if you look at it for the first row, it says we have a frequency of 5. So will that mean that we have 5 number that's between 0 and 5? So that's what the frequency is telling us. It's not telling it the exact number, but it's telling us that we have 5 number between 0 all the way to 5. Yeah. Any question in regard to the frequency so far? All right. So then what we have brackets, and we also have parentheses. So whenever we have brackets, the brackets are telling you to include the number. So that's what the bracket is telling us. So if you look at the first one, it says bracket 0, 5. So the bracket is telling me I include 0 in this step. What the parentheses tell me, do not include the number. So whenever we have a bracket, the bracket is telling us we include that number. So if we have a number between 0 to 5, it's telling us we include 0, but we're not going to include 5 because 5 have a parenthesis. So you do kind of want to know what does the bracket and what does the parenthesis mean. So if we have a number 0, 0 would go into this class because it's telling us to include 0. But if I were to have the number 5 will actually go into this bracket because if you look at the second class is saying bracket 5 all the way to 10.
What?
All right, it says bracket 5 to 10 parentheses. So that means we include the 5 on the second class, not the first class, because the first class has a parenthesis, not a bracket. Any question in regard to the difference between a bracket and a parenthesis?
Yeah, so what you're saying is it goes from 0 to 4 on the first class? Really?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, 0 to 4, and the second one would go 5 through 9. All right, so up next we're gonna go over the lower class limit. So for the lower class limit, I'm gonna just highlight the lower class limit. These are my lower class limit. So I'll say lower class limit. So the number that I highlighted in yellow, all of them are my lower class limit because those are the ones telling me for that class what the lowest value it could possibly be. For my upper class limit, and I'll highlight these in blue. These are my upper class limit. Cool. And the reason why they're my upper class limit, because it's telling me what the highest possible value it could be. well, not including those values, that it could possibly be. So the yellow are my lower class limit, the blue are my upper class limit. Any question in regard to the lower class limit or the upper class limit? All right. So the last thing we're gonna learn something called bin width. All right, there you go. So the bin width is just telling us how much are we jumping from class to class. Cool. All right, in this one, there's a slight little typo. If you look at 11, 11 should actually just be 0. So if you can, you change that 11 to 0. It is a slight typo. So if you look at all of the yellow number, all of the yellow number are jumping by how much?
5.
5.
Yeah, 5. So the bin width for this will be 5. If you look at all of the blue number, all of the blue number are jumping by what?
5.
5.
5. So that's what the bin width is. The bin width is telling you from the first class to the next class, how much distance should we put for each one of those? All right, everybody good for bin width?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right, so let's go on to page number 2. All right, so for page number 2 is the frequency histogram. So the frequency histogram is essentially a visualization of our frequency table. So let me go back to this frequency table and let me actually copy it. Here, give me a minute. Let me stop sharing. I'm gonna reshare right now because I think it lost the connection. All right, there we go. So the frequency histogram is just a visualization of the frequency table. So for the frequency histogram, this is the way the frequency histogram gonna look. In the bottom, you're gonna have your class. On the top, you're gonna have, let me write this down horizontally. You're gonna have your frequency. So if you look at the class, what we're gonna do, we're gonna use the different interval that we have. So if you look at the class right now, I'm gonna use all of the lower limit class. So we're gonna do 0, we're gonna go to 5, we're gonna go to 10, we're gonna go to 15, we're gonna go to 20, 25, and lastly, you're gonna go to 30. So I get that by using the lower class limit, and I actually use the very last upper class limit. So you go all the way from 0 to 30, and we're just jumping by 5 because that's our bin width. Everybody so far good with that? All right, yes. So up next, I'm gonna do the frequency. So if you look at the frequency, what is the highest frequency that I have?
8.
8. So when I'm making the frequency chart, I wanna make sure it goes all the way up to 8. So let's do 8 marks. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'll number this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's skip that one. All right. Everybody good for the frequency? All right. So let's get a different color for that way it could distinguish it. So if you look at the first class that we have, is from 0 to 5. So from 0 to 5, we have a frequency of 5. So that means we start off at 0, we go up to 5, we'll go over, and then come back down on 5. So you start off at 0, and that's not what I wanted. So you go up, and you come back right down. And if you look at it, the bar go from 0 to 5. And the reason why I go 0 to 5, because that's our class, because our classes are from 0 to 5. All right, so let's do the next bar. So for the next bar, it says if from 5 to 10, we have a frequency of 8. So here go 5, so we go 5, go all the way up, go over, and then we come back down to 10. And the reason why we go from 5 to 10, because once again, the class is from 5 to 10. So that's our second class. All right. Any question in regard to the second bar? All right, let's do the third one. So the third one, if you look at it, it says 10 to 15. So from 10 to 15, we have a frequency of 6. So here we go 10. So we go up, we go over, and we come back down on 15. So that's our third bar. If you look at our next bar is 15 to 20. 15 to 20, we go up to 8. So we start off at 15, we go up all the way up to 8. We move it over, and then we come right back down, and we come back to 20. Next, we have 20 to 25. 20 to 25 is a frequency of 5. So you go up to 5, you move it over, and you come back down to 25. All right, and then lastly, we have 25 to 30. 25 to 30 is frequency of 4. So that's here. Cool. And that's how you create a histogram or a frequency histogram. So pretty much you're using the frequency distribution that we used on the last one. And we use that to pretty much construct it. And the whole purpose of this is to kind of get a visualization of the data set, yet to see where most of the data set is located at. All right. So any question in regards to this? All right, so let's go ahead and do some data set. All right, so for this one said the following sample data set lists the number of minutes 28 internet subscribers spent on the internet during their most recent session. Construct a histogram, construct a frequency distribution with a bin size of 10 and construct a histogram. Right. So the bin size and the bin width are the same. So telling us we do a bin width of 10. So usually for this, what you want to do, you want to look at your data set. So looking at my data set, what's the lowest number that I have?
7.
7. So that means we're going to start it off here at 7. So we're going to put a bracket, comma, parenthesis. All right. Everybody know where did this 7 come from? All right.
Bin size, I think. No. Yeah.
So remember, the 7 is come from 7 is the lowest number. So we start off with 7. So what did they say the bin width was?
10.
10. So that means if I want to get this next number, we're going to do plus 10. So if I do 7 plus 10, we get 17. So if I do this again, do a plus 10, we get what? Oh, we get 27. So if I do this again, we get 37. If I do this again, you get 47. All right. Any question on how I got the lower class limit?
No.
All right. So then pretty much to get the upper class limit, I always get this number and you just put it right over here. So you go 17. And then you could do the same thing. You're gonna do plus 10. If I do 17 plus 10, you get 27. If you do plus 10 again, you get 37. If you do plus 10 again, you get 47. And lastly, if I do plus 10 again, you get 57. So that's how you get the lower class limit and the upper class limit. Any question in regard to the lower class limit or the upper class limit?
No, so far I'm good.
All right. So if you look at this, I need one more class. Because if you look at the highest number that we have in our data set, what's the highest number that we have in the data set?
73.
So
78.
78. So that means we're going to make some more classes.
Yes.
So what should be the next number here?
57, 67.
Yeah, 57, 67. All right. So if you look at it, that's still not enough because we want it to be all the way to 78. Then the next one will be 67. Oops, sorry about that. Will be 67 to, oops, to 77. But that's still not enough because we want it to go all the way up to 78. So we're going to do one more, which is 77 all the way up to 87. Here, let me just use Y. All right. So let's go ahead and now let's look at our data set. So right now, all we want to do, we want to focus on 7 to 17. So right now we're focusing on 7 to 17. But if you look at this, this is telling me we go to 7 to 17, but we don't include the 17. So that means we're actually is going from 7 to 16. So right now what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to go ahead and just highlight all of the numbers that go from 7 to 17. Well, 7 to 16, sorry. So we have 11, we have 7, we have 7 over here, and that's pretty much it. So how many total numbers do we have that go from 7 to 17?
3.
Yeah, 3. So we put frequency is 3.
You missed the 14.
Oh, I did? Oh, yeah. Thank you. All right. So that now that become 4. All right. So that's the first one. So let's do the second one. So the second one is 17 to 27. So let's do that in a different highlight. So we'll do orange. So we're doing 17 to 27. So we get the 17, 22, 21, 20, 19, 23, 17, and then that's pretty much it. Or yeah, I don't think I missed any. So now I'm gonna count all of the one I highlighted in orange. If I count all of the number that I highlighted in orange, how many do I have?
7.
They put 7 right here. All right. So now let's go to 27 to 37. So 27 to 37, we have 28. We have 32. We have 34. And then that's pretty much it. So if you look at this one, we only have
You missed
And
34.
35.
Yeah.
35.
35.
35.
Next, yeah.
All right. So yeah, so we missed 35. So if we count 35, now we have a frequency of 4. So then we're going to go 37 to 47. So 37 to 47. So 37 to 47. Let's do a different color. So 1, 2, 3. Not that one. 4. Yeah, 4. All right, so we should only have 4 number from 37 to 47. So you just put 4. All right, so next we're going to look for 47 to 57. So 47 to 57, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. So we put 6. All right. Then we go 57 to 67. 57 to 67. Let's do a different color. We'll do purple. So 57 to 67 is 62. And then that's pretty much it. So we put 1 right here. So then what we want to do, we want to look from 67 to 77. So 67 to 77 is actually just this one, the 73. So we put 1 again. And lastly, we have 77 to 87. So 77 to 87 is just the 78. So that means we put 1 right here. All right. And that's how we do the frequency table. Any questions so far on the frequency table?
So would we still have to do like 7 to 16? Or would it be like 7 to 17?
Are you talking about for the histogram, or are you talking about?
Well, right now you were doing the frequency,
Yeah.
and you were at first you said 7 to 16, but then you started doing like 27 to 37.
Yeah, so you do 27 to 37, but yes, no, since it has a parenthesis, it means we don't include that number. So if you look at this one up here, it does say 7 to 17, but since the 17 has a parenthesis, we don't include it. Because if you actually notice, this 17, we put it for the second class, not the first one. Did that kind of answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. All right, so that's our frequency table. So up next, we're gonna go ahead and do the histogram. So I'll just jam it over here. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna go ahead and do is the frequency. So for the frequency, what you wanna go ahead and do is just look at it and see, okay, which one is the highest frequency? So the highest frequency that we have is 7. So make sure that this could go all the way up to 7. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's number that. All right. So now if you look at the horizontal axis, which is just the straight line in the bottom, that one you're gonna put your class. So if you look at the class, we start off at 7 and we wanna go all the way up to 87. So we start at 7, then you go 17, then you go 27, 37, all right. So if you look at the class, we go 7, then 17, then 27, because remember the bin width or the bin size is 10. So we're jumping by 10. All right. Everybody good so far with that?
So I have a question. When
Yes.
we're making the histogram, you said like there's 2 columns, the lower class and upper class column. So we're making the histogram, we go to the highest on the x-axis, we go to the highest upper class volume or lower class?
Well, technically, you're using all of them because pretty much if you look at them, like for this lower class, well, sorry, for this lower class, it's also an upper class limit. So technically,
Okay.
you're using the lower class and the upper class, but kind of to make it easier, kind of you think about it, you use, here, let me get the yellow highlight. You use all of this, and then you get the last one.
Okay,
All right.
got it. Thank you.
Perfect, yeah. So let's go ahead and do this. So if you look at the first one said from 7 to 17 is a frequency of 4. So you start off at 7, you go up to 4, and you drop it down to 17. So that's my first class or my first bar. The next bar, if you look at it, it says 17 to 27, we have a frequency of 7. So you start off at 17, you go up all the way up to 7, and then you come right back down to 27. Because telling us from 17 to 27 is a frequency of 7. Up next, we have 27 to 37 is a frequency of 4. So that's actually over here. Then what we have from 37 to 47 is 4 again. So we'll do this. Then we have from 47 to 57 is 6. So that will be over here. Then we have 57 to 67 is 1. Then we have 67 to 77 is 1 again. And then we have 77 to 87 is 1 again. All right. And that's it. So here, put the so say. All right. And that's your frequency histogram. So let me write that down. All right. Any question in regard to the frequency histogram? All right. So using the histogram, you should be able to answer some like questions about it. So say if I ask you, this is internet speed. All right, so you should be able to answer some of these questions. So if I ask you, how many internet subscribers spent more than 57 minutes on the internet? How many would you say spend more than 57 minutes?
1.
So only one though? Remember, we want more than 57 minutes.
I think 3.
Yeah, so you want to say 3 because pretty much more than 57 minutes mean all of these 3 people right here. So it should be 3. Give me a minute. Let me stop sharing and reconnect it because it lost connection. So it should be 3 because remember, we want it to be more than 57 minutes. So more than 57 minutes mean these 3 people. So we use, it doesn't have to be exactly 57 minutes. It just has to be more than 57 minutes. So if they spend more than 67 minutes or more than 77 minutes, we include them in this one. So this one will say 3 internet subscriber. All right. So what about if I tell you less than 37? So I want there to be less than 37 minutes. So I want that their last internet session, they spend less than 37 minutes on the internet. For that one, how many people will we have that satisfy that?
15.
15.
Cool, 15, because you do 4, which is this one, plus the 7, which is this one, plus the 4, which is this one. If you add all of that up, you get 15. All right, and that's it. So using the histogram, you should be able to answer some of those type of questions, because you should be able to look at the history and you go like, okay, we have 15 people that are below 37 minutes, or we have 3 people who spend more than 57 minutes. All right, so that's it for that first example. Any question for that first example? All right, so let's do the second example, and then we're
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up? Okay, no question.
So is it always 10?
It's not always gonna be 10, because if you're talking about the bin size or the bin width, it's not always gonna be 10. Like in this case scenario for this next problem, it's gonna be actually 23.
Oh, but like how do you like do that? Like how do you like base off what oh it's right there, I'm done. Never mind. That was a brain fart by me.
No, it's fine. Okay, so let's do this next problem. So for the next problem, it says the following data is the hourly pay in pound offered to shop assistant in a survey of job vacancy for June of 2003 based in reading. Construct a frequency table with a bin size of 23 and construct a histogram. Right. So what I want you to do, I want you to take a minute and I want you to see if you could construct this if you could construct this frequency table. So take a minute and try see if you could do this frequency table. Let me do this in Y. If you get stuck, let me know, and that way I can assist you. But try see if you could do the classes, and if you finish with the classes, try seeing if you could do the frequency also.
Question. For the highest class, it goes up to 579, correct?
How much?
579.
Yeah, good. Perfect. Yeah, the highest it should be is 579. I think the lowest it should be is 421.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, all right. Also for the future, whenever we have the lowest number, they usually call it the minimum. Whenever we have the highest number, they also call it the max. So once we get to that session, you should know like the minimum, the lowest number. So the minimum in this case is 421. The max is 579. All right. So hopefully you start off with 421. And remember, this should have a bracket. Like all of these should have the bracket. All right. So if you look at it, since the bin size is equal to 23, in order for me to get the following number, all you have to do is just add 23 to 421. So if you look at 421 plus 23, that should be 444. Now we're gonna do exactly the same thing. We're gonna add 23. So if I do 444 plus 23, that's gonna be 467. Once again, you're gonna add 23 to it. So 467 plus 23, that's gonna give you 490. So then if I do 490 plus 23, 490 plus 23, that's gonna give you 513. So then if you do 513 plus the 23, that's gonna give you
526.
Yeah, cool. 536.
Oh,
So if you look at it, you still need a little bit more because if you look at it, you wanted to get the max. So I'm gonna have to add some row to this. So if I add a row to it, let's do red. That's gonna be it's gonna be 559. If I add another row to it, if I do 559 plus 23, that's 6383. 583. And I can see it stop right there. Everybody good so far with that? Okay, so let's go ahead and let's do the upper class limit. So remember the upper class limit, you could use the lower class limit to help you figure out the upper class limit because this one should be 444. This one should be 467. This one should be 490. This one should be 513. This should be 536, 559, 583, and lastly 583 plus 23, 606. All right, and that's it in regard to the class. Everybody good on filling out the class?
yes.
Okay, so let's do the frequency. So let's do 421 to 444. So here go 421. And then that's pretty much it. So we have 1. So now we're looking for 444 to 467. So 467 is only this one, and this one. So we have 3. So then we go 467 to 490. So 490. Yeah. For this one, we have none. So you put 0. So then we have 490 to 513. But remember, we don't include the 513. So we're doing 513. So this one, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that's it. So you put 10 right here. So next you do 513 to 536. So 536, so we have 1 right here. And we have 2. So you only have 2. So then we want to do 536 to 559. So 559, so that's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. So you get 3. And lastly, we're going to do 559 to 583, which is just the 579. So that's 1. Oh, sorry.
If there were to be two 559s, like hypothetically speaking, would we put them on both frequency columns?
Well, if you have 259, both of them will go right here.
One wouldn't go in 536 and 559.
No, because if you look at the parenthesis is telling me don't include it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the parenthesis is telling me like don't include it here because you're gonna actually include it into the next row. All right, so that's it. So I actually didn't need this last one. All right. Everybody good for that frequency table? All right, so let's go ahead and do the histogram. So in the histogram, I have some space here in the bottom, so I can do it here. All right, so if you look at it, the highest frequency that I have is 10. So you want to make sure you go up to 10. So we go, what we're going to do, we're actually going to jump this one by 2. For that way, it'll make it easier on us. So that way we don't have to do like 10 little dashes. We can just do 5 little dashes and we'll get to 10. So that's our frequency, but now for our class. For this one, you do want to be careful because the class, you are dealing with bigger numbers. So you make sure that you have enough space. So we say 421, and then you have 444, then you have 467, then you have 490, then you have 513, then you have 536, then you have 559, and then make sure that you get the very last one, which is 583. All right. So now that I have my x-axis or the horizontal axis filled out, we could go ahead and do this. So if you look at the very first one, the frequency is 1. So that's your first one. If you look at the next class, the frequency is 3. So you have to go up all the way up to 3. So that's the frequency of 3. If you look at the next one, the frequency is 0. So 0, pretty much you leave it blank. If you look at the next one, that's 10. So I have to go all the way up here and then you come back down. Up next we have is frequency of 2 because 513 to 536 is frequency of 2. So we'll say frequency of 2. And then we have 536 all the way to 559, frequency of 3. So frequency of 3 is slightly here. And lastly, we have 559 to 583, frequency of 1. And that's your histogram. So the histogram hopefully shouldn't be that bad to do. And that's it. Any question in regard to the histogram? All right. So that's pretty much it for today's lecture. So right now we're going to go ahead and we're going to work on that activity. So I'll show you where to get the activity in case you're wondering. So I'm going to stop share. And I'm going to go to Blackboard. All right. All right, so to get activity number 2, if you look at this folder, it says activity 2. You click on this. Go. Let's reset it. We go to start. So you're gonna download this file, and once you finish with this file and like writing out all the answer, either in a sheet of paper or using your tablet, you're gonna upload it here. So this is where you're gonna upload it and then you put submit question.
Hey, mister.
Yeah, what's up, Jonathan?
I did my work yesterday through phone, but I was asking if you got it because I don't know if it's submitted or not. And I was checking my grade and it said graded and I didn't get nothing. So I'm assuming you didn't get nothing.
Because there were some things that said were in progress. So I'm gonna go back today. I'm gonna double check that. Because for the people who, because show that it downloaded, and I was actually able to see it. So I'll double check yours today, Jonathan, and I'll send you an email letting you know if I got it or didn't got it. Because if I didn't,
Yeah,
get it,
because I downloaded the PDF, but I tried like it's on my folders and everything, but I can't like write on it. So it's like, oh, I don't know what to do right there.
well, if you can't write on it, what you could do on a sheet of paper, you do your work and you upload that sheet of paper.
That's what I tried doing through my phone, but I'm guessing it didn't go through.
Okay. Well, I'll help you with that in a little bit.
All right, thank you.
And also for some of you, you actually already started doing the homework, but for the homework for yesterday is right here where it says chapter 1 sampling and data. So if you actually click on that, and then if you click on homework, and then you press type of variable, you can actually just go ahead and start doing the homework. And for this one is 14 point possible, so there are 14 questions. So once you get all 14 of them correct, you're pretty much done with this homework. So this was the homework for yesterday. There's also a homework for today, so I'll show you where to go for that homework. For that homework, all you have to do is go to chapter 2. And you go homework 2.1. And for the homework for today is organizing and graphing of data. So this is the only homework for today. The measure of center and measure of position, this is later on. So don't do any of this because this will just confuse you. The only homework that you're responsible for is organizing and graphing of data right now. Any question where to find this homework?
No.
What was the name of yesterday's homework?
Oh, the name of yesterday's homework is type of variable, but let me just that 100% sure. So if you go to homework on 1.1 and 1.2, yeah, it is this one, types of variable.
Thank you.
All right, so what I want you to do, work on activity number 2 right now. If you're having trouble accessing the activity, I have all of the activity right here. So if you go to content, and then if you just go all the way in the bottom, it says activity, and all of the activities are right there. So you can go to activity number 2. So that will be for activity number 2.
Mister, and what about for intro to my open math?
Yes.
If we haven't finished it, it says 5 out of 14, but can we still finish it?
Yeah, you could still finish it. You could still be able to resume it.
When are the activities due? I'm sorry, I forgot.
Well, for the activity, ideally, they're due every day because pretty much this is kind of like a good review. For that way, you could get caught up. But I'm gonna actually start checking all of the activity the day of the test. So technically, all of the activity are due on July the 9th. But you kind of want to be turning them in every day so that way they don't pile up on you, and that way, like, you don't feel like you have to do so much work.
And how did you say we turn those in if they're on the document?
Well, the way that you turn it in, if it's on the document or if you just take pictures of your work, it should be the same. For activity 2, you just go right here where it says activity 2.3. You click on activity number 2. So this screen should pop up. I'll put resume. And then if you look right here, here goes the PDF. So if I actually click on this, it will just give me the PDF file. But if you want to turn in your work, you have to hit this right arrow. And then right here where it says choose file, this is where you upload your work. So if you're working on activity number 2 and you show your work on the PDF file activity number 2, you can turn that in. But if you actually do it on a piece of paper, you take a picture and you upload that picture onto onto the document. And I already saw some of you already are using Cam Scanner, so that's good. So just use either Cam Scanner or Adobe Scanner to upload a file, because this one only lets you upload one file. So you do just want to upload all of your work into one file. Everybody good with that? All right. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to go ahead and share activity number 2. So what I want you to do, I just want you to start working on activity number 2. So I'm going to set you up into breakout room. So I'm going to put I'm going to put 3 people into each breakout room. So that way you can kind of work with each other and help each other with this. And if you get stuck, you kind of get my attention. I'm going to be jumping around. I'm also I'm going to be switching Erica around. So that way she's not just in one room. So I'm going to start switching her around from room number 1, room number 2. So that way, if I'm not in that room, Erica hopefully should be able to help you out in that room too. All right. Any questions before I break you up into the breakout room? All right, so I'm gonna break you up into the breakout room and just work on the activity right now. Okay, so everybody should be getting an invitation to join the breakout room. So once you get that invitation, start joining the breakout room.
I have a question. What was your email again?
Here, I'll put it in the chat.
Thanks.
Can you also tell us how to unlock Safari?
Oh, have you seen the chat?
No.
Okay, somebody actually put it right there. Because I actually did that right now and it works. So what you want to do, you want to go to your preference and you want to go where it says privacy. And you want to make sure that prevent cross-site tracking is not checked off. So if you actually just do that and then just refresh, like close out your Safari browser and then just reopen it up, and it should work.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Any questions so far for that activity?
Yeah, it says right here that we have to use graph paper for the histogram. Do we have to use it?
No, you can just ignore that. If you just have a sheet of paper, you just use a sheet of paper.
Okay.
Any other questions before I jet off? Keep up working, and if you have any questions, you put it in the chat, and I'll come over. Just let me know which room you're in. Let's go to room 2. All right. Hey, room number 2. Any questions so far?
For letter B, you know how it says how many stones are larger than or equal to 6?
Correct.
Would we count the 10 or would we just go 7 plus 4 plus 2?
Well, so for this one, it says it has to be larger or equal to 6, correct?
Yeah.
So if you look at where, because you're talking about the 10 that said from 4 to 6, correct?
Yeah.
Will any of those stones be bigger than 6?
Nope.
Will any of them be equal to 6? Because for that one, since it has a parenthesis, it means that the highest number it could possibly be is any number except for 6. So it could be like 5.99999. So for that one, you wouldn't include the 10. It would actually be the 7, the 4, and the 2. So you have to just add those 3 up.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yesterday I did it on my computer, but I just downloaded it as a PDF and then like I uploaded like that too. But this time like you're supposed to do it on paper, right? So like I have to use Cam Scanner.
No. I think so. You were one of the ones that actually wrote on the PDF and uploaded that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that.
Okay.
Yeah, it is for like people who aren't able to do that or don't know how to do that. Like what they could do, they could just write it on a piece of paper and then just take a picture and then upload those picture. But if you know how to actually write on the PDF file, yeah, or the Word document, you can just upload that onto the Blackboard, and that will be perfectly fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other question before I move on?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I downloaded Cam Scanner and then after it said that if I wanted like 3 days for free and then like if I wanted to pay like after like start paying like afterwards. That's why I didn't get it, but I was like confused.
No, well, like in your case, you wouldn't need Cam Scanner because if you're because what you could always do is upload the document and then pretty much just work on it and then just submit that document that you wrote on.
Yeah.
So you should be fine without Cam Scanner.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
All right. So I'll let you keep on working. And Erica, I'll be moving you around, so don't get too comfortable in each room because I'm gonna start moving you around for that way and other room if you can help them out.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Erica.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to room 3. All right. Hey, room 3. Any question in regard to the activity or anything?
No.
So far, no.
Yeah, I don't have any questions right now.
Okay. Well, if you do have any question, if you want me to come back to the room, you put it into the chat, and that way I'll come back to your room. So you just know your room number 3. So you say, "Hey, can you come to room number 3?" And I'll go over. All right.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So I'll let you be, and let me go on to room number 4. All right. Hey, room number 4. How's everybody doing? Any questions so far for the activity?
So far, I'm good.
Yeah, me too.
And also thank you for those instructions that you put on the chat.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that Mac were gonna have so much issue.
I know for a while I had an issue too, but I figured it out at the end of the day, so it was good.
Yeah, good. Yeah, and thank you for like helping out others.
Of course.
Yeah, what's up?
I have a question about yesterday's activity. So I used Adobe Scan and I tried to submit it to you through Blackboard, but it only submitted one of my 2 pages. So I emailed you the whole scan.
Yeah, here, let me double check that for you right now.
Okay.
Because I want to see if when you did it with Adobe Scan and when you submitted it through Blackboard, if I actually got the entire thing. 'Cause I think I probably got the entire thing. So I just want to let you know. So you give me a minute and let me go check it.
Okay.
Hey, do you guys want to compare work? I finished so the first part, at least the first one.
Okay. I was thinking like when it asked part C where it's like what fraction of stones are below 6 centimeters, would you just add up?
Yeah, you take a part of it out, like the ones that
you already
were, yeah, the ones that were under 6 centimeters, and
Okay.
I got 13%.
Okay. 13% meaning.
Yeah, because for some reason, yeah, like when you upload it onto Blackboard, it only got 1 page.
Yeah, I got my second page for some reason. So I don't know. So to avoid losing points, I just sent it to you through email.
Yeah, no, I got it. All right. Well, thank you for that. But yeah, you should get both of the pages. I don't know why I only got 1 page. Well, we'll figure that out. Any question in regard to the activity so far?
Nope. Well, thank you.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right. Well, if you do have any question, just put it onto the chat and just tell me, hey, come to room number 4, and I'll go over and I will help you out.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Let's jump. Sweet. All right. Hey, room number 5. How everybody doing?
Good.
Good. Any questions so far?
No.
All right,
I don't.
so you good?
Yeah.
Well, if you do have any question, what you could just do, send me a you can just send me a chat and you tell me, hey, can you come to room number 5 because that's the room you're in, and that way I could come and help you out. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Let's go to
6, 8 to 10, 12, which would be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Am I making sense? Wouldn't you just add the
That would
bottom?
be the remainder of it. Oh yeah, because it's larger. Yeah, you're right. It's 13. I was getting the other number.
Hey guys, how are we doing?
We're doing okay. I'm gonna have to email you my work from yesterday because of the cookie that's going on with the website. I have to figure out how to install Google Chrome because I'm only using Safari and it's not letting me access the activity.
Okay. Actually, do you see the chat of that they posted on how to fix that?
No.
Yeah, 'cause if you actually go to the chat, I posted up how to fix that. Well, actually, a student posted it, and I just reposted it. Because what it was they're saying, all you have to do is go to Safari and go to Preference, and then Preference, go to Privacy, and what you have to do, you have to uncheck Prevent Cross-Site Tracking.
Okay.
So if you do that, that'll fix it, and you don't have to get Google Chrome. You could still keep on working on Safari. Because I tried it on my iPad, and it worked for my iPad.
Okay.
Okay.
Question for is number B or like letter B, is it 40 stones?
I think it's 13.
Yeah, for letter B, it should be 13 stone.
How do you 13 stones?
All right, so if you look at it, say it has to be larger than or equal to 6 centimeter, correct?
Right.
So if you look at the size where it says size and CMS, if you look at it, it says 0 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, so on and so forth, correct?
Right.
So we want it to be bigger than 6 or bigger than or equal to 6. So if you look at it, can I use 4 to 6? Well, I can't use 4 to 6 because if you look at the 6, it has a parenthesis. Since it has a parenthesis telling me that it's actually from 4 to 5 centimeter.
Right.
So if I want it to be bigger than 6 or equal to 6 centimeter, I have to use 6 to 8. I also have to use 8 to 10. And I also have to use 10 to 12.
Okay, got it. That makes
There you go. So if you add up those 3 frequencies, 7 plus 4 plus 2, you get the 13.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions?
No.
All right. Well, if you do have any other questions, just put something on the chat. Just tell me, hey, can you come to our room? And I'll jump into your room.
Okay,
But
got it.
yeah, let me know.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Hey class, how are we doing?
We're doing good. We were just discussing 1D where it says if you randomly pick up a stone in the Nigeria River, what is more likely a stone that measures below or above 6 centimeters? And we said below because the frequency is higher to get one that's below, right?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, because you go like there's more stone that's below 6 centimeter versus versus stone that are above 6 centimeters. So you go like it's more likely you get a stone that's below 6 centimeters. So great job.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question? What type of birds are those?
I don't know. They're my grandma's birds.
Okay. Yeah, I used to have like a parrot. It was like it was
Yeah.
cool, but after a while you go like it's quiet down.
Yeah, we have a parrot, a girl, but she's quiet. It's all of the little birds that are loud.
Okay. Yeah, usually the parrots are pretty chill. All right.
Yeah.
Any questions so far about like the class or anything concern-wise?
No. After I'm
No.
done, how would I upload it? Since I'm doing it on paper, I would have to do the scanner thing, right?
Correct. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna take a picture of it. Once you take a picture of it with the CAM scanner or Adobe scanner, whichever one, it's gonna create a file for you. So usually what I do, I email myself that file, and then you download it onto your computer, and you saw how it asked you to upload a file. You upload
Yeah.
that file that you just email yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got
So
it.
like after a while, it'll become very simple to do, but in the beginning, it's gonna be kind of annoying because you have to just remember to do all of these little steps.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Nothing.
No, thank you.
So let me jump on to the last room. We should be good. Hey room, how are we doing?
We just had a couple questions actually on two.
All right, what
About-
are the questions?
About the for C, did you want us to how would you want us to describe it?
You're talking about 1C?
No, 2C.
Oh, 2C. Let's see. Describe. Oh, so pretty much just by looking at the histogram, like what do you kind of notice?
It's symmetric.
Well, it's kind of symmetric, but if you kind of look at it, like what kind of interesting feature does it have?
I see two hills.
There you go. So pretty much it's described, hey, you have two hills on this distribution, because we still haven't gotten into like the word symmetric or skewed to the left or skewed to the right. So right now it's kind of just you describing like what type of features does it have. So you can just say like, okay, we see like there's like two hills on it. One of the hills start off like at 50 to 55, and then you have other hills somewhere between like 75 to 85. So you don't have to use any like fancy words or definition words right now because we still haven't learned any of those. It's just you describing like how does it look based off just looking at the histogram. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I have a
Any
question.
other questions? Yeah, what's up?
I have a question for 2B. Are we just adding them? Everything below 70, or are we like adding them and then finding an actual percent?
Yeah, for this one, you're gonna actually find an actual percent. So, because if you look at the top, these are the frequency, correct? So what you first want to do for part B, you kind of want to get the total of the frequency. And then you want to divide into how many frequency are below 70 minutes. So if you look at 70 minutes will be all of these. So all you have to do is add up all of the numbers that I highlighted in purple. So I'll put right here purple. So you want to highlight all of those, you want to add up all of those numbers that I highlighted in purple and divide it by the total amount of frequency. And then that'll be it for that one.
Okay.
Okay.
The total number is that all of them added up together, divided by the purple?
Correct. So the total will be you get all of these numbers plus you get all of these numbers.
Okay.
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 All right. So let me stop the share. All right. So that's it. So the class is about to end. So what's going to happen? I'm going to kind of get everybody back to the class so that way I can just make an announcement and we're done for today.
Okay.
So let's close out the room.
50 to 55, and then 60 to 65, and it just keeps adding on. And then if I don't know if you noticed, but on like the on top, he puts like the frequency.
Damn, bro.
Hey, did you guys get 2A?
I haven't done that yet.
Oh.
Hey class, so I brought everybody back because I kind of want to go over like what is gonna happen today. Because remember, today you're gonna have your very first quiz. So for the quiz, I'm gonna give you 30 minutes to do it, so that way you should have enough time to work it out and be able to upload it onto Blackboard. So I'm gonna show you where to go to find quiz number 1, so that way you kind of have more or less of an idea where to go. So for quiz number 1, if you look, well, first thing you want to go to Math 132 Summer 2020. And then if you look right here, it says quiz number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So right here, I'm going to go to quiz number 1. And then if you look at it, it's due today at 10 p.m. So it should open up, I think I put it to open up at 4 p.m. So from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m., you're going to be able to do it. So once you start, the time is actually going to get started. So you try to pick a time that you're not busy, that you know, hopefully nobody going to come to interrupt you. And you're going to do the quiz. So for the quiz, it's going to be the same thing as the activity. In one way, you're going to have the quiz, the PDF. So all you have to do is click it and you'll see the quiz. And then what you want to do, you want to hit this right arrow. And this is where you're going to upload it. So you're going to upload your work onto this page. And that way I can see your work, and that way I could grade it, and that way I could give you the max amount of points that you earn. All right, but any question in regard to the quizzes?
We could submit the activity once we're done with it, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And
There's no like due time?
Yes, it is due July the 9th. So you have plenty of time to submit it, but you try to submit it as soon as possible, for that way, like, it doesn't kind of pile on. All right. And also what I'm going to do, I'm going to be uploading the solution for, what you call it, the solution for the activity. So that way you can kind of compare what you got with your group and kind of compare it to what our answer is on the solution. And I'll put it right here in content. So if you go to content, I'm gonna do another folder, and it's gonna be a folder called, well, I'll use this folder right here, activity. So I'll put all of the activity solutions here. All right. Any question in regard to what's due today?
You're gonna put the activity solutions when they're due, like on the 9th?
No,
like
I'll do it today. So like right now, since you worked on it, I'll put up the solution to it. So I'll put up the solution today for activity number 2.
Okay.
Any other questions?
For today's homework assignment, can we do them right now, or do we do them after the quiz?
No, you can do them right now. Like pretty much the homework assignment, all of the homework assignments are open right now. So if you go to chapter 2, if you go to homework, pretty much right now you want to work on this homework. You don't want to do measure of center, measure of position, because we still haven't gone over that. So you just want to work on organizing and graphing of data.
Okay.
So that's the homework that you could get started on today, because that's what we covered today.
What was yesterday's homework?
Yesterday's homework is chapter 1, and is type of variable. And also that one was already open. So if you go to chapter 1, sampling and data, if you go homework on 1.1 and 1.2, you go type of variable. That's the homework that we went over yesterday. So you should be able to do this one.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions?
For the quiz, can we get started right now, or do we have to wait till 6?
For that one, well, here, I'll open it up right now. Give me a minute. All right, open up quiz number 1. So if you want to, it's open from 11:30 a.m. right now all the way to 10 p.m. And just remember, quiz number 1 is covering material that we went over yesterday. So you might want to have the day 1 notes with you, just in case you need them.
Okay.
Wait, you just opened quiz number 1 from 11:30 to 10 p.m.?
Correct.
Okay.
But remember, once you get started, you're only gonna have, I put 35 minutes. So it should take you like 10 minutes to do the quiz, and then you have 25 minutes to figure out how to upload it and get it out into Blackboard.
All right.
All right. Any other question before I close out this meeting? Oh,
No.
all right.
No,
So
thank
that's it for today. Have a good day, and I'll see everybody tomorrow. So remember, do the quiz is open right now, and you have all the way to 10 p.m. today.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank
welcome.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good day, y'all.